Hello everyone, my name is Matt Scorpion and welcome back to another reset. Now, there's a few things that I wanted to specify when it comes to the weeks and the comings of just generally Nightfalls and some things, and I'll get to them when I do. But, kicking off with the active booster, we do currently have double Nightfall rewards, which goes in tandem with the launch of Grandmaster Nightfalls. If you don't know what that means, basically, Grandmasters are a version of Nightfalls intended to be super harder than the rest, with a minimum power requirement of however much it takes to get in them, but essentially everything will have you at a pretty negative handicap. It'll feel like master raids almost. Now, going forward, currently during season, people like me who have already gilded it will have access to all 6 to do at the very start, but going forward it will be just the rotation one. And speaking of the rotation, currently it is the Proving Grounds Nightfall for the world rotation. Basically, if you don't have Conqueror available to be gilded this season, this will be your only choice until that. Now, the modifiers going forward for this Nightfall. Champion foes of Barrier and Unstoppable, since it is all Cabal. Solar Threat for incoming solar damage being increased. Then the usual Grandmaster modifiers of Extinguish, where your fire team will return to orbit if everyone dies. Limited revives, making it so that you can't just revive infinitely. Scorched Earth for enemies throwing grenades significantly more often. Chaff for no radar. And then Overcharge and Surges, including Solar Surge, Strand Surge, and Overcharge Sniper Rifle, in addition to the Overcharge weapons from the Seasonal Artifact. Now, Grandmaster is going to be weird, I'm not going to lie. Because we have active Surges, things are going to be a little bit easier, personally. But then it seemed like in this list we had some of the hardest choices for Nightfalls in the game, including the Mars Battlegrounds, which, just because that wasn't exactly made as a strike, it's possible that is incredibly difficult. But going throughout the world, nothing new with Gambit, because it is Gambit. Then in terms of Crucible, we do have Team Scorch active, and Iron Banner has just ended. We'll get one more Iron Banner before the end of the season in the next coming weeks. But on that same note, we will have Trials back for the weekend as well. So if you want to get your hands on some of the Trials gear, this might be your last chance for a while to get an Adept version, because things are rotating out, like Whistler's Whim. That has already rotated out, and the last of the Trials gear will probably be the last time you can get your hands on any of them. Now, going into the main world for rotations. Now, our raid rotation and dungeon, we have Grasp of Avarice for our rotator raid. That is infinitely farmable. However, because the exotic is Gallahorn and quest based, it's pretty easy to get your hands on that. And then our farming raid is the Last Wish raid in the Dreaming City, with all challenges active. And I would honestly say this is probably one of the ones you want to farm as much as possible, because it's pretty similar, or pretty simple. You just kill Riven over and over again. Cheese it, don't cheese it, it's your choice. But you can kill Riven up to 5 times, and then you can get 5 drops all at once in the massive chest room. Given how much it seems to want to drop every now and again, 5 chests should be more than enough for people who still don't have 1,000 voices to get their hands on it. Then into the rest of the world's inhabitants. So for raids, going start to finish, we have on the moon, for Garden of Salvation, we currently have 0 to 100 challenge, which is Sanctified Mind challenge, where you have to fill up the moat deposits to full within 30 seconds of the first deposit. Then going into, let's see, that was year 3. Year 4 was Deepstone Crypt. For Crypt, in its raid rotation, we have Copies of Copies, which is a Trex challenge, a pretty easily farmable one if you actually, well, actually can't farm challenge, but an easily doable one. You just need a few Thundercrash Titans with Curious of the Falling Star, and it makes it real easy. Then into the Throne World for Vow of the Disciple. The current rotation raid is Looping Catalyst, which is Rolk Challenge. Pretty easy, you just have to not lose the buff, and you'll be able to get double drops on a Rolk kill. Then going into the Legends tab, I forgot about Vault of Glass, but for Vault of Glass it is Wait For It, which is Conflicts Challenge. Basically, that you have to wait until the Wyverns are currently sacrificing on any of the Confluxes in the Legions encounter, I think it's called. And then for King's Fall, we have Hands Off Challenge, which I forget which one it is, and I actually know it, so let me just do some looking. Hands Off Challenge. Let's see. Wait, no, that's not where it goes. Let's see. King's Fall. Hands Off Challenge. Where is it? Oh, that's Oryx Challenge. Basically, you can only kill each of your Light Eater Ogres and your Light Eater Knights once. You have to kill a different pattern, or a different area's Knights and Ogres, again, if you wish to continue challenge mode. Then going into Neomuna, it is Third Encounter Challenge, which is the Planet slash Abhorrence, or that's not his name. the planet's boss, first boss. I do not know what the challenge is exactly, or what it drops, but I know it's not Michael's Revenge or Case's Detection. So, there you go. And then on that note, for Master Farming, it is currently mobility-focused armor with solar and strand surges and overcharged shotgun. I'm not sure if that rotates, but just in case it does, there you go. Now, into our seasonal stuff. So, we have Defiant Battlegrounds rotating as usual. Legendary Defiant Battlegrounds is the third of the season, which is the Orbital Prison, which, in this case, is the third of the rotation and has the usual modifiers for this. Basically, seasonal stuff, Solar Threat, Overload, and Unstoppable Champions, because taken. Overcharged Weapons, Solar, and Strand Surge, and Overcharged Machine Gun for Legend Mode. Now, I will advise, you have limited time to actually get access to this. While that activity is not going away, to actually finish the seasonal title, you have to rotate and do all three of those, so it's a 3-week process minimum. Unless you already did one, then it's just however many weeks we have left in that essence. Then, checking one thing before we get into seasonal challenges, and that is Dares of Eternity. The Legend Mode rotation for farming, currently Hive, Fallen, and Valis to Auric. Which, I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like I've said that 8 weeks in a row, now that I think of it, but, you know, there's that. So I believe Avalon is about wrapped up. You probably get another catalyst from that, I think, but it's hard to tell. I haven't been exactly keeping up with this season's exotic mission. Then for week 7, you have Eternal Queensguard, which is completing a flawless run in any Defiant Battlegrounds playlist location. Basically, play Defiant Battlegrounds, don't die in a run, and you'll do it. Then we also have Defiant Focusing, which is decoding or focus to find engrams of the war table during Season of Defiance. Now, they asked for 20, which I'm not going to lie, it's going to be kind of easy because, you know, you can just decode the recovered Leviathan's treasures over and over again and not spend any overall energy. Oh, wait, that's not a thing. That's just the engrams. That's right. Then we also have Favored Liberator for generating favors in seasonal activities. All members of your fire team contribute to overall progress, so there shouldn't be too hard in the 3-man playlist activity. We also have Fleeting Glory for completing matches in the comp playlist. And then for Gambit, it's killing high-value targets and powerful combatants, anything yellow bar or higher. And then we also have Grandmaster, which is completing any Nightfall strike on Grandmaster at all. Any of them, you can pick any and choose any ones. Now, oh wait, I forgot to mention something about Nightfalls, and that is the weapons. Now, so there is, of course, Hung Jury Adept available, and now I will stress, this is the last time this season you'll be able to access Hung Jury Adept. You'll still be able to get Hung Jury next season, it just won't be the Adept version until the next season's Grandmasters come out. And then for, if I recall, Mindbender's Ambitions and Malicious Birthright, you have one more shot for the both of them this season to get them Adept before they go out of rotation and enter the Legacy gear. While you'll still be able to earn them, you won't be able to earn them Adept, so if you want the extra step up to make them just slightly better than the rest, then you're going to want to get your hands on them while you can. Granted, I don't know what Nightfall it is. It's entirely possible, if I recall, is Glass Spray for this one and something other difficult thing for that. It seems like Bungie's doing that on purpose to make us actually work for it. But aside from that, into the weapons that Banshee has. Now, of course, he actually has his gear available on the front page, and I will give the usual spiels to see if, speaking of weapons, after actually earning conditional finality from Nezarec, I gotta say, it is a little bit annoying that while it also says that freezing, igniting, this can cover multiple champions, unstoppables, and overloads, but it's not labeled as an anti-unstoppable or anti-overload. It just lets the subclass verbs happen and expect people to understand that. For the new people in the back, I wish them luck in finding that out. So on the front page, we have Under Your Skin, a precision frame void bow. Definitely one I would recommend, especially Unrelenting and something like Explosive Head. It's pretty solid roll if you're trying to just stay alive. Then Judgment of Kelgarath, a aggressive frame glaive. Again, this got me through the Legendary campaign solo pretty easily on my Warlock. I would regularly recommend a Genesis roll on that because shields are going down constantly with the Legendary campaign. We also have Last Petition and aggressive. Adaptive Frame Void Pulse Rifle, which is a little bit outdated at this point, but at the same time, it's still a pretty solid roll. It's one of the few things that still have access to scopes as opposed to just muzzle brakes, so there's that. We also have Boudica C, which is a Hake vertical frame sidearm, which, it's a sidearm. Glowing reviews from me. And we also have Falling Guillotine, an old Vortex frame sword, which it's pretty much the God roll. Swordmaster's Guard for spamming the heavy attack. Jagged Edge for the most damage. Whirlwind Strikes, counterattack, not that great, but Relentless Strikes is pretty solid. So I'd recommend it if anyone's looking for a decent Void sword. Then into the Foundry items, we have Lunalata 4B, a lightweight frame stasis. I almost said fusion rifle, that's a bow. Vice bow, so it gets faster draw speed on Vice trigger proc. And then, while this roll is pretty not great, it does definitely have access to some better rolls. Would definitely recommend anything with Headstone. And speaking of similar things, Jiraka, Stasis, Vice, almost said Fusion Rifle again, Scout Rifle, which I definitely recommend this one. This has some solid rolls. 4 times the charm will go good on any sort of Stasis Hunter spam build. But at the same time, Focus Fury, Perfect Float, not great, and has access to 4 times the charm, which pretty much makes it so one of the best kinetic damage dealers for consistent sustained DPS. Then we also have Snorri FR5, which is a Void Precision Frame Amalon fusion rifle, which, I'm not gonna lie, I thought this was gonna be another Aaron Hill sort of thing. I know it's the wrong frame for that, but it was another main ingredient sort of thing, which so far has not been that, so it's hard to say whether or not that's worth it. We also have the Ikelos SMG version 3, which, of course, is reworked with the Rasputin's origin trait, and then Killing Wind and Surrounded. This is probably one of the best guns in the game, just generally, trials or PvE-wise, because Volt Shot makes it just dang so good. Then into our heavy slot, we have Memory Interdict, an Adaptive Frame Void Heavy Grenade Launcher, which this roll is garbage. I'm not gonna lie. Would recommend any roll better than that on a Memory Interdict. We also have Taipan 4FR, which, again, I will say this every time Taipan shows up. It is craftable. If you want the god roll of this, just go ahead and craft it. While this roll can get you along, you can get better out of it. Although, actually looking at it, this seems to be 6 out of 6 god roll. So, yeah, on that note, the only way to improve it is literally crafting it. So, if you want your hands on that, go ahead. And then checking with Ada to see what shaders we have downstairs. So, visiting Mrs. Izanagi, we have Bergruzia Knight, one of the original Forge shaders. Now, this is one of those shaders that was really hard to get access to, which, dang it, again, it looks really solid on a Buy It Leap and on the helmet, but then the root gear, it just really struggles the shader, I swear. It's like if any color shows up, it's black in the main thing. It's hard to like. But that was only accessible from running the Bergruzia Forge, if I recall, or if... Actually, no. This was only accessible if you actually got a literal god roll to drop, and Bungie thought it was also a god roll, in which it would come on the gun itself. You can dismantle it to earn it in a variety of ways. You also have Arctic Dreamscape from Season of the Warmind, Season 3, which is pretty much a desert camo, if you need any idea what it looks like. It's hard to tell in the root gear, because obviously, but then on almost everything, it gives it a little Arctic camo. Then we also have New Monarchy Allegiance from the same season, which, ooh, I am liking that on the root gear. I might have to apply and start messing with that. But, you know, there you go for your rotation shaders. On that note, it has been the reset. The Grandmasters have launched. I will probably, as of this video going out, to be streaming on Twitch my running of Grandmasters. See if I can do them all in one day. And on that same note, I will see you in the next video.